The Zeniko ZA12 is the best new compact flash for analog photographers. Or is it? I think it is, and that's partly due to one unique feature the flash has, which we'll get to shortly. However, what can't be denied is that the look of on-camera direct flash has made a comeback. So it's appropriate that we start this video with a very brief overview of some of the photographers who pioneered this aesthetic. The year is 1990. The Contax T2 and the Yashica T4 both arrived with built-in flash. The future is bright and slightly overexposed. Kodak is basically sponsoring just about anything a camera could be pointed at. Some of those campaigns, however, are probably best left in the archives. Photography in the 1990s, especially fashion photography, marked a pretty significant departure from the highly polished style of the 1980s. Instead of perfect lighting, perfect poses, photographers were starting to look for something messier. A big influence came from documentary and street photographers like Nan Golding and Martin Parr, whose work embraced a raw and unfiltered way of seeing the world. Magazines like ID, The Face and Vice helped define this flash-heavy, slightly chaotic and up-close approach. Take someone like Jürgen Teller, who built an entire career using simple techniques in flash photography. Terry Richardson shot a huge number of celebrities, including President Obama, using the same technique, bright flash against a white background, which made his subjects appear like they were in a casting session or a very intense passport photo booth. I think if we're trying to understand why flash photography is making a comeback, as seen in the work of people like Nikita Terry-Oshin and Sina Nassari, I think we need to understand what exactly it is that we're trying to achieve with photography, especially as AI-generated images become part of daily life. Now that brings me on to this compact flash, the Zeniko ZA12, which was actually, full disclaimer, given to me by the distributor Instro, who also distribute Kodak's products. They haven't paid for this review and they haven't seen the review before it goes live. And the Zeniko ZA12 has a full manual mode, but it also has a type of automatic mode that relies on something called a thyristor diode. A thyristor is far from new technology, and it's actually quite simple. It basically measures the light the same way a on-camera light meter does, for example. But when it reaches enough light, it will send a signal to cut off the amount of flash being sent out so that you can get perfect exposures. The flash itself, well, it's incredibly simple to use. There are two dials here, and the dials have quite a nice tactile response. They click with confidence, and they're not easy to accidentally knock to change your exposure without realizing. On this side, the dial does two things. It can either set your full manual flash exposure, where you can control the flash output from full flash all the way down to a 64th flash. It also allows you to set the ISO if you're using the auto mode. So you can set the ISO anywhere from between 50 to 1600. And on the other side, you simply select the aperture you're using. And obviously in camera, you just choose your camera flash shrink speed or slower, and the shutter speed won't affect the flash exposure. Before we do a deep dive on the specs of the Zeniko ZA12, I'll show you some documentary style photos that I made at a Copenhagen motorcycle meetup using a Rolleiflex and a 35mm camera paired with this flash. So I took my Rolleiflex and my flash to this annual meetup of motorcyclists. And literally thousands of riders will meet up every year on this date because it marks the spring opening of a local theme park called Bakken. Many of the motorcyclists are a bit older, and when I spotted this younger rider with his Sons of Democracy patch on the back, I asked if I could grab a quick portrait. So first shot in, and I really like how this one came together. The flash just lifted the subject's face. I felt like I was still warming up and building my confidence for the event. I saw this older lady smoking a cigarette, which I didn't get a shot of, but I still like this shot here. I wanted to get another shot of the young motorcyclist, this time trying to incorporate a few more of the motorcycles. So just look straight into the camera. It's a very old camera, so it takes me a second to...
Yeah, I know.
Hello. How are you?
Amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Still 1954. Still. How long have you been doing tattoos?
14 years.
3, 2, 1.
Absolutely.
Is it okay if we grab a photo?
Yeah.
You just do be natural and I'll grab a couple around you guys. Yeah, that's the worst thing to say. Yeah. What I'd really like to do is get a shot of you in the mirror, maybe. Is that possible? So if you jump on. Would it be weird if you were sat in the back?
No,
Yeah, okay.
Even though it's stationary, is that okay?
That's okay. Tell me what to do.
That's the helmet's on the floor, right?
If that's okay. Or at least one on the floor. I just want to try to get your reflection. It might not work, but
I
like.
think it will. I just polished the mirror.
I do like this photo, but I think the composition could have been better. But I quite like the dramatic use of the flash on the riders sat on the bike. Next up is a slightly expired roll of Fujifilm Pro 400H, one of my favourite film stocks. I'd also taken along a 35mm camera loaded with some Kodak Vision 3 250D. Is it okay if I take a photo? And of course, what else would a bunch of Danish motorcyclists do when getting together, other than making hot dogs?
Du filmer?
Ja, lige præcis. It's a YouTube channel.
YouTube channel?
Yeah, exactly.
I have also YouTube, but I'm filming with this.
Yeah.
I'm filming with 4K.
4K, you'd have thought. First shot with the Fuji Pro 400H, but it does seem like there's a bit of motion blur or I've missed focus. Can I get a photo of you guys?
Sure.
Is that be okay? Yeah. Who's riding on which bikes of you three?
He's riding on that bike, I'm behind, and she's riding on this bike.
Here the shutter speed is too slow, and it didn't help that I was trying to balance the Rolleiflex in one hand and the flash in the other. Have you been here before?
Yeah.
Yeah, every year?
Not every year. It's raining and not coming.
Yeah. This one's sharper, but again, would be nicer if I just took a step back. Yeah, that's cool actually. I'll just wait till there's no cyclists and then... I'm the same for this shot. I think it would be a lot more interesting if I had managed to get more of the motorbike in the frame. Here I just wanted to experiment with some slow shutter shots. Completely messed up this shot. This one I managed to nail, and you can see from the look in the rider's eyes just how happy they are to be flashed while riding. So first we'll talk about form before getting onto function, because the way it looks is important. And I like the look. It comes in a choice of two colors, this all black with silver control knobs and a mix of silver and black. It's made from a combination of materials, including aluminium on the sides and plastic on the top, which I assume keeps the weight down and makes it more robust where it needs to be. It weighs about 60 grams, which is very light. And at its widest, it's only 5.5 centimeters. And I think it's about 3.5 centimeters high. So it will mount nicely onto a camera without feeling big and bulky. At the back is a power on switch, which also allows you to fire a test shot. On the top side of the flash is a single LED light, which is used as a kind of status indicator. If it's red, it's still charging up. If it's green, it's ready to use. And it will also flash to let you know that the battery is low. Now, I've seen some other reviews about this product. However, not everyone has tested the specs for themselves. So I'm just going to do a few quick tests. The first is the recycle time, which is supposed to be 2.5 seconds at full power. So I'll set the power to full and just using a stopwatch app on my phone to do a very crude test, see what we get. 3, 2, 1. Okay, maybe a little slower. It looks like its recharge speed at full power is about 3.5 seconds. Now, one of the biggest selling points of this flash is that it is very, very affordable. I've seen these sell in different places from anywhere between 35 to 40 pounds. So let's say about 40 to $45 euros. And I think that is a fantastic price for what it offers. Included in the box is a pouch, a USB-C charging cable, and a diffuser for the front. I actually managed to lose the diffuser the very first time I took it out to shoot. It slipped off quite easily. So my suggestion is to use a bit of tape to secure it. Now, another thing to note, if you decide to use the diffuser to soften the flash, is that it slips on the front and covers up the light sensor here, which will naturally affect your readings if you're using the auto mode. I saw another YouTuber's review who claimed that the power was about 1 stop under when using the auto mode, and I wonder whether he was just using the diffuser on the front. So I'll do a test to actually measure the output in both manual mode and auto mode to see what I get. So first up, we'll test the auto mode for its accuracy. I am using a light meter set to ISO 200, placed 1 meter away. It will not be influenced by the ambient light. And what I'm expecting to see is an aperture reading of 5.6 to match what I've set on the flash. So let's see how accurate it is. Got a reading of 5.6 and 2/10, which is pretty good in my book. Next up, I'll measure the output of the flash at 100%. Again, we'll use a subject distance of 1 meter. At a distance of 1 meter, the exposure reading I get is f11 at an ISO of 200. Now for street photography, I tend to be between 1 meters to 2 meters, 1.5 meters being the sweet spot. So at an ISO of 200, to be able to shoot at f8.5 is pretty good. Now, the term correct exposure can be a bit misleading because it really depends on your stylistic choices. So for example, if you like that Bruce Gilden in your face harsh light or the Terry Richardson style photos we saw earlier, you might want to overexpose the flash to stop. So I'm just on the website here looking at some of the technical specs, and it says that there's a charging time of 1.5 hours. My experience is that it takes longer to charge. I haven't timed it, but it definitely takes longer. And it suggests that it should be able to produce about 400 flashes at full power. And again, my experience suggests that it's a bit less than that. I haven't counted them, but I wouldn't expect to get 400 flashes on full power. That said, when I'm out shooting street especially, I will just leave it on the entire time. So maybe it's just naturally draining some battery by being on. Now this connects to your camera using a hot shoe mount. However, the contact point doesn't necessarily speak to all analog cameras, especially old analog cameras. So for example, the shoe on top of this Leica here is a cold shoe, and the same with my Rolleiflex. There's no way to connect it through the hot shoe at least. So the solution is to use the PC sync port on the back here, and it works perfectly well. However, there is no PC sync port on the flash, but it's a very easy and cheap fix. I just picked up a PC sync port to hot shoe adapter. This just slides on here like that. This part goes into your camera PC sync port, and it works perfectly well. And of course, I'll leave a link in the description so that you can buy one of these on Amazon. As mentioned, thyristor technology has been around for a while, which means that you could alternatively pick up a second-hand vintage flash, which has a built-in light sensor and thyristor. However, a lot of the older flashes don't have other manual controls. And much more importantly, if you're planning on using an old flash with a new digital camera, be aware that the flash voltage on old flashes can be significantly higher than what your camera is expecting to receive, which could damage the camera or completely fry the electronics. So if you're using a digital camera, it's much more sensible to stick to modern flashes. This, for example, is rated at 4 volts. To summarize, I think this is a very good value product, and I'll continue to use it and will recommend it to other people. And sure, there's room for improvements. For example, I think it could be quite interesting if Zeniko were able to add a light meter into the unit without making it significantly larger. I'm also curious to know whether Zeniko could include a PC sync port in a Mark II version. However, that would increase both the size and the cost of production, And I think the compact nature and the price point are the biggest selling points. And finally, a big thank you to Phoebe at Instro Distribution, who sent me this product and has been waiting very patiently for the review to come together. I really wanted to make sure that I tested it thoroughly before putting this together. And if it's your first time watching anything on Kodak Took My Money, do consider subscribing. There'll be another video in 2 weeks' time, and it's going to be a road trip video through Banff, Canada, which I'm really looking forward to sharing.